when you plugged in, everything come automatic. It was like that with me. From the episode, this is a continuation from Miles and Miles of Cash. You know, my friend, my homeboy that I made this link with, you know, he needed me a lot. And like I said before, if you've been following me so far, you know, I couldn't help him how I really wanted to help him. So what I needed to do was entice him to bring me some students so I could take them into a culinary master's art class. So he did that. He drafted some homeboys and brought them. And when he brought them, all I needed to do was train them how to cook. That's it, how to cook. But you know, you have to go through so many things in the game to understand that there's so many elements to getting paid that a layman, a guy on the corner, he never would think that this one element is all he needed. He couldn't fathom that. He couldn't fathom that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 levels to the game. And it only takes time, because if you ain't got the right person showing you these steps, and it gotta be in succession, the game, you won't never be able to advance. You pay your bills, you back down. You pay your bills, you back down. There's so many things that you can manipulate in this game. So when he brought in these people, maybe 5 people, my homeboy opened up all these cookhouses all over the city. That was it. It wasn't no bed, it wasn't no TVs, it wasn't nothing. It just was cookhouses. And I knew from me being a thinker, again, every time I went to these cookhouses, I just knew that this can't last. It was unbelievable. And me just thinking about it now, it gave me the goosebumps, because I had to relive all these things or whatever in my head and my psychoanalysis. Man, let me tell you, every house had about 3, 4 bricks to it. So when I needed something, what I would do is go to these houses. When I went to these houses, you know, you could hear the squawk-it, 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 squawk-it. The fork scraping the bowl, and you looking, you seeing, you try to get what you can get and get out. So after that got so big, you needed all these delivery peoples. Now you start coming with these delivery peoples. If you order this, and they'll bring you this, and they'll bring you that. It just had got so sophisticated that you knew it was too many people involved with this thing. Something was going to happen eventually. So I started thinking like that. You understand? I started pulling myself back. I had already said that before. Now this is me at my peak. Here, this is me at my absolute peak. Okay, if my guy that's plugged in go buy a motorcycle, it was other guys that didn't have what he had trying to go buy motorcycles. If he went to go buy a boat and said, hey, we're going to have a party out on the boat or whatever, I wouldn't go. I just wouldn't go. It was just something about it. It just seemed like a dream. You work your whole life to get to this, to the cocaine Super Bowl. You work your whole life, and you just see that I ain't in control of this. As much as I tried to talk to my guy, I wasn't in control. It was his show to run. So I couldn't do nothing but help my peoples, help my homeboys get some food and make sure they was straight, because you knew that something was going to happen. It was too much seeing all these cookhouses, all these people. It was elderly people coming. Eventually they came to see, to start bringing stuff. And you know, if something was broken, or it might be this or be that, I would call my guy and he would tell me, okay, I'm gonna fix that. So it had got to the point even of me telling him I needed the numbers changed, and he would change them for me. But my other homeboys would come and ask me, could those numbers be changed? And he would change them according to how I wanted it to be changed. He never put me in a situation to where it looked like I was an underboss. You understand? But I stayed away from him as much as possible, for as me seeing eye to eye with him or sitting with him. Rarely was we ever seen together, because we was moving so heavy, and it had got to that point where it was like a thing that you know that it wasn't gonna last long. It wasn't gonna last long. So I started to prepare myself for things that I thought was coming. Now, I told you that the people came to my house and they was asking for my homeboy. They didn't get nothing or whatever, but they came asking for him. So when I got my paperwork after that little small arrest, my homeboy name was all over the paperwork. Because what they thought was they saw my homeboy leaving in and out of the city. They was trailing him. They thought he was going to get it. They didn't know that we already had it. We had it already in the city. He was just going back and forth to take care of his family. And they thought that he was going to get it. So that's why they was questioning me about him. You understand what I'm saying? So I wouldn't never tell them nothing. I ain't gonna never get to the point to where I would even utter something about my friends. You understand? So being with all these cooking stations around the city and then seeing all these different people coming up delivering, then start seeing all these toys popping up, the cars, the jet skis, the boats, the motorcycles. When you start seeing all this stuff here, you know you had to get your lawyer money ready. So after I got out, I dialed it back. I dialed it back. I didn't dial it back where I was stopping, but what I was doing, I was dialing it back as far as me being in the spotlight. You understand what I'm saying? Because it had got to a point to where I knew where people who think that just because they in there cooking, they winning. So I started to get the product how I showed them how to give other people the product. They started trying to use it on me. Not that that was a bad thing. I just didn't have the time to sit in there and cook all that.